What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, we're doing a VOD from Relic. If you guys aren't familiar with Relic, let me just pull over his Wikipedia real quick. This guy has been to multiple World Championships, 6th place at the Remix Rumble Championship, winning the LATAM Regional Finals, 5th to 8th at Esports World Cup. This guy has just had a really stacked tournament performance. He's been to a lot of tournaments, and the crazy thing about Relic, the fun fact that everybody says, is he's the first person to qualify for a World Championship in 2 of Riot Games both League of Legends and TFT, which is pretty crazy. He's been to TFT Worlds and League of Legends Worlds, so that's it's just pretty wild, honestly, to think about. He's playing. He's usually, almost always, he's rank 1 LAN here, so we can move my head here. You can see he's 1500 LP LAN, and he is ranking up his NA account. You can see up there in the top right, he's about 800 LP on NA right now. And so, I mean, Relic's a fantastic player. I like watching him. Honestly, the reason why we watched him this game, we'll see actually when we get to the first Augment, but the patch has shaken up greatly with regard to one comp specifically, actually, I think, and yeah, I think once you see the first Augment, all will be clear. But so far, we have this Amumu pair, we have this Darius pair, pretty happy with it. Amumu 2 now, and some other stuff as well. Gonna hold on to the Singed here, and I think it's actually a pretty easy choice for Mr. Relic in this spot here, which wouldn't have been an easy choice last patch, but it's the Sword Crest here, and wow, the Zyra 2 makes it a much better choice. But what can you do with Sword Crest here? Well, first of all, we can play 4 Sorcerer, Amumu here, slam the Sunfire and the Spark. I mean, look at this spot. This spot looks disgusting. But last patch, you couldn't really do this. You weren't excited at all to slam a Sorcerer emblem and play around Vertical Sorcerers, but Vertical Sorcerers got buffed really considerably at 4 Sorc, 6 Sorc, and then a huge buff at 8 Sorc. And so now 8 Sorc actually is a legitimate win condition. I mean, let me pull up the actual stats themselves on just 8 Sorcerer, because I'm actually interested to see what the stats say. Yeah, I mean, it is a 3.22 here, so with only 1 spat, right? Only 1 spat, you need it. So about the same as something like 6 Artillerist, which obviously you need to be level 6, but the reason why this, should be better than 8 Sorc is you need 2 spats to get here, whereas you only need 1 to get here. So yeah, 3.22, really nice. I mean, you compare it to stuff like, it's better than 8 Enforcer, which I think a lot of people think of Enforcer +1 as kind of an auto take, and this is better than that. So I think that really just means that, yeah, I mean, Sorcerer +1 should also, if you have a reasonable spot at all for it, be an auto take. And yeah, actually, you can scout the lobby and see here, this guy has it. How many people in this lobby has it? At least 2. There was at least Sag. Yeah, I think it's just Sag here who has it this game. But yeah, 1 other player. So we are going to be contested Sorcerers. That's fine, generally. I think a lot of people are afraid of being contested in TFT. But look, we're going to be playing a 4-cost-centric game this game. We don't need to play for like 3 stars in this spot here. We're not going to do like the Zyra reroll comp from last VOD, though. I mean, that would be fun, but we leveled early. We're not really playing for that kind of stuff. So like we're playing like a fast 8 type comp. If somebody takes some of our Zoes, it's not the end of the world. It might be a little bit the end of the world, though, looking at this guy. Also, ooh, check out this positioning. I'm not actually sure who this was for. I think it was... Oh, this is really nice from Relic, actually, because he was scouting this guy, right? The idea here with this positioning is to just segment your front line as much as possible to make sure Vex gets no AoE value, because maybe we lose this fight. I mean, we're probably never losing this fight, just because, I mean, this guy's board's good, but not that good. He doesn't have Sentinel in, but wow, nice little anti-Vex positioning tech here. And, it doesn't end up hurting us that much in this fight. We just have the Amumu here, and he's chilling and tanking an insane amount. So, yeah, it works out this way, but it also just opens ourselves up for the possibility of, hey, if we fight that Vex guy, we segment the front line against the AoE. I think that's actually so smart. But yeah, going to put all the Sorcs into the team planner here. Going to throw Elise in as well. We can talk about that later, but, Elise tends to fit nicely on the board. We have Bow open here, so a Nashor's Tooth, I think, seems pretty reasonable here. Don't really want a red buff here, so we're going to be forced to take, actually, Chain Vladimir here. I mean, not so bad in that it is on a Vladimir. The biggest downside is that, we don't really want to chain vest, really want some more damage items, but hey, we can play the double Vlad here. Once again, spreading this front line out just because he doesn't want to get vexed here, which is so smart, right? Our front line doesn't care at all about being clumped up here, so he just wants to spread as much as possible to make sure that this Vex is not getting AoE value off on us. So smart, actually. He doesn't quite get fully spread out here. The Vlad and the Amumu are clumped here, so we'll see actually if this fight ends up being a win, because it's pretty close here. I think it is going to actually be a loss here. This Vex guy ended up getting a much stronger board, and so very unfortunate. Oh, and also unfortunate that we didn't actually get to pick up the Swain last round, because yeah, now we can get Conqueror in. We can eventually play for like 4 Watcher maybe. Yeah, a lot of stuff that we can play for. Actually, they're set into the team planner. That's interesting. I wonder what the idea there is. I'm not actually sure, but whatever. We're still obviously in a really good spot. And after losing that fight, I mean, we'll just chill on our positioning, be pretty happy. I mean, 4 Watcher seems like an obvious addition. Could hold this Draven as well, maybe a 4 Conqueror. I would hold the Draven. Yeah, and he's gonna, yeah, nothing gets past Relic here. There's the Elise immediately, like pretty early on, which is very, very nice. I guess I can start talking about this now. I mean, 1, she's Form Swapper, so you want to fit her. 2, she's Black Rose with the Vladimir. And 3, she's actually, so if you look at, wait, this will show me frontline Elise's ability, right? She actually has, you know, solid scaling with AP. Extra AP makes her deal more damage and also heal more. So if you go into Explorer actually and just look at Sorcerer emblem, go to items, she is the most frequent Sorcerer emblem holder and really, really good delta. So if you obviously if you get to like a Victor or a Mel, sure, throw Sorc emblem on them, but she's a great unit to hold on to it until you get to those 5 and 6 costs. So I mean, this is gonna be nice. I don't know that I mean, maybe we'll move it immediately over from the Amumu. He could just honestly start moving stuff already. We'll see. I mean, this looks like a Giant Slayer Nashers to me, but we'll see here. We also, oh my God, that's the Nami. That is weird. And yeah, he is immediately going to move items over. Going to put the real tank items onto the Swain here. The idea being that we can throw all of these tank items actually on him, triple itemize him. And yeah, we have the 6 Sorc now. So I guess the only reason to not make Giant Slayer here, and it is a big one, is that it's killing your Shojin component. So we'll see. I mean, you don't need to slam it here, I think. Yeah, okay. It was a little dicey for a second, but yeah, he doesn't need to slam it here. But you can just see the power of 6 Sorcerer, right? We're stomping boards. It's never Prismatic Ticket. I don't really like I'm the carry now either. Radiant Refactor doesn't sound that bad to me. Go for like a Radiant Shojin with Sorcerers. Sounds pretty nice. Or maybe like a Radiant Sunfire and Spark are really, really good. This SKU could also do like a Radiant items check here. So just go to items, Radiant, sort by average placement, statics, bulwarks, Radiant Sunfire. Yeah, tends to be really, really good in the stats. I wonder where Radiant Shojin is actually. It's not, I mean, it doesn't look amazing. It should be really good, right? When you're playing with all this extra AP from Sorcs just to get yourself casting. Wow, I'm actually a bit surprised that he likes a movable object, because the only reason to ever do that is if he, I mean, I think a lot of people just tend to not like this Radiant Refactor. I mean, it doesn't give you that much at the end of the day. And Coronation is just probably, I mean, it is certainly better. Like this Augment's kind of broken. They probably should have nerfed it this patch. But that must mean that he likes a movable object greater than Radiant Refactor here, which is pretty surprising to me. Like the other nice thing about Radiant Refactor is that it fixes your items, right? You have Sword, Bow open here. You can take the tier or, you know, worst case, like a Giant Slayer or something, and then, you know, help complete some of these items. That's why I like it at least, but okay. Wow, you can already start to see the value from that Elisa. I mean, how much damage? Okay, 1100. I mean, not bad, but it's just like she did so much damage there. She healed up a bunch. Like she's actually a beast with the Sorc +1. And you know, a little tragic that our +1 off Coronation just has to be Bruiser here, but I mean, not so bad, honestly, not so bad. So yeah, just a lot of Sorcerer players in this lobby. Yeah, he's actually going to opt to play 6 Sorc. I think I like this a lot, actually. Because once again, we're just talking about how underwhelming Bruiser is, and a 6 Sorcerer Swain almost always going to be better than just getting 2 Bruiser onto your board. So really nice, just Relic playing strongest board here. That second Swain dealt almost 1,000 damage. I think you'd be very, very pleased with that. So really, really nice there. Only problem that the thing that we're not going to be pleased about here is it seems quite unlikely, yeah, that we're going to get this tier. So now what are we even taking? I mean, I guess you can take Rod here, or I guess you go for Belt and go for Nashers, but okay, we get the Rod. That's nice. I don't know that we're going to slam anything out of it immediately. I don't know. Would you ever make a Gwynsu's here? I mean, yeah, you would. Wow. It actually, like, it hurts so much to make this Gwynsu's because we already have the attack speed from Nashers. And if you look at like 8 Sorc versions of Zoe, just once again to do some stats checking here, because like, I don't know, it's fun. Well, actually, I haven't looked at 8 Sorc specifically, so maybe I can see here. Gwynsu's, yeah, it's like, it gets a lot worse because my idea, at least why Gwynsu's is much worse on 8 Sorc Zoe, is that you're playing a much... you're playing for a much higher burst playstyle, right? You're just blowing people up with the damage from 8 Sorc. You don't really need that scaling. Rebel provides you the scaling with Gwynsu. That's why Gwynsu is really good on Rebel Zoe, but Sorc Zoe, you don't really want it there, so it feels bad. But I mean, I think Relic feels like he needs to make that slam. He certainly didn't need to make it this round, though. I think his thought process, though, is that like, if I'm not making Gwynsu's, then my items get quite awkward, because what's the bow going to be? Can't be Static Shiv, can't be Red Buff. I can't It probably isn't going to be another Nashers, though, honestly. Looking at the stats, maybe double Nashers is not bad because it just gives you that straight up strength rather than having to wait for the scaling. I could see such a thing, but, you know, whatever. Once again, nicely actually spreading the board here so that Elise isn't getting AoE'd down here. So Relic, just the king of actually mid-game and early game positioning. I feel like he did such a good job. I mean, that other fight versus that Vex, he's kind of wishing he could get it back because I think he potentially could have won that fight had he... positioned slightly better, had he just done his idea but just executed on it perfectly. But just really, really smart stuff. I think a lot of people, especially when they're just playing out the early game in TFT, they're just like, whatever, you just position however, like who really cares about positioning? But it can matter a lot here. We do finally get the Smojin in this spot, and we have a JG as well, which is something we can look at. I mean, we're certainly going to duo carry here. I think the duo carry is probably going to end up being the Nami too, but we'll see. Yeah, and he's even just going to make the items onto Nami here. Interestingly, I mean, I guess he doesn't really want to burn a remover right now is the idea. Like if you burn a remover, you know, on the Zyra, then you only have 2 left, and then like then you need 2 removers to move the items again. I mean, you would still have enough removers, but it's a little bit awkward. It's just like I feel like I really want this Shojin. Oh, onto my Zoe. Also, that last fight that loss is tragic. All right, powered shields, Lux shields. I don't believe anyone else in this comp shields, so I don't think that's much value. In this comp, Tomb Raider I hate, though, and Bronze for Life we're not going to be able to play around either. I mean, I don't love Hell. I mean, I guess you just take Item Collector. Yeah, I think that's quite reasonable. All right, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. All right, I mean, now we were just looking for our... Oh, my God, it's disgusting. I mean, how was I to know? Oh, my God. This Relic guy is just a beast. Hits the 2-star here, going to move items over. Wow, this is actually really interesting item prioritization. I'm actually, like, kind of shocked by this. This is crazy. Triple item LeBlanc here, with the idea being that we would rather actually have Nashers on her than onto the Nami dose. Huh. I mean, she out damaged the Nami too. Wow. That's actually kind of crazy, especially because, I mean, LeBlanc got buffed this patch. I honestly, sorry for bumping my mic. I think you probably heard that. I want to look at something else really quickly here, do a quick stats check on this as well. Holy, she's a 3.8 AVP. LeBlanc went from, I mean, can we pull up last patch actually? Yeah, LeBlanc went from like middle of the pack, 5 cost to the best one. And I think a lot of this is just the power of Vertical Sorc. I don't think like she went from just raw being one of the like middle of the pack to being one of the best with just like a little bit of a 0.05 attack speed buff. But I mean, the big thing is just 8 Sorc is so broken, and so yeah, you get to play around this. Also, just playing 4 Black Rose on this board, pretty easy. Just fit some extra Black Rose onto the board, and obviously LeBlanc fits so nicely here with the Vlad and with the Elise here. So I mean, the spot looks fantastic for Relic. I mean, that was a disgusting roll down. I can't say that he's not a high roller on that. But now we're gonna be able to see. We're gonna be able to see the power level of this comp. People pinging the LeBlanc there, I guess. So everybody kind of realizing just how strong LeBlanc is now after that. And yeah, I mean, another damage item would be fine here. A rod. Looks like he was looking for whoa. He ends up having to take cloak here. What was he looking at here? He was looking at belts he wanted, and then he didn't get the rod because of it. Why does he want belt? I guess just for a Nashers, I don't know. I'm not sure actually. He ends up just making the declaw though, which I mean seems perfectly acceptable in the spot with the cloak open. So yeah, tankiness onto Elise is pretty good. I mean, 87 HP, level 8. The thing is, we're stable. We have 2 2-starred frontliners that are huge. We have a 2-star Nami, and the LeBlanc stabilizes really nicely as well. So the spot is fantastic. I actually don't love his positioning. I think the Swain should be in the middle because the Swain is dying pretty quick to boards like this. Had Swain died a little bit later, I think we would have won this fight. And Elise 2 is almost always going to be casting here. So I actually don't love this positioning. All right. I mean, really? I have to imagine that this is not that good. Once again, for like the ideas that we've talked about, this is a very quick comp, right? We're playing for pretty quick fights. I don't imagine this is good. It's interesting that he's considering it so long, though. And he just decides to take it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 2-star Swain. It's tankiness onto our 2-star Swain. We also move up the Vlad to protect the Swain. That works as well. And even going to move up the Cassiopeia. He's realized, like, I need to protect the Swain as much as possible, which I think is, yeah, perfect in this spot. Okay, I mean, I guess he's holding all of our really good utility items. I just don't know how. I mean, maybe. I mean, just looking at items, that was the intuition that I got about this comp is that, yeah, like, especially once you get to 8 Sorc, you're playing for insanely quick fights. You don't really need that much frontline because you're just blowing through people's boards, but I mean, you know, sometimes when you're in a spot like this and you have so much frontline, you can just opt to not really care so much about well, or when you have so much damage, I mean, then maybe you don't even need more damage. You just want more frontline. That's a common thing in TFT. Picking up the this is interesting as well. Holding on to the GPs, the idea being that we can play for a 4-form swapper game. I mean, it just has to be another Shojin, I'm sure. I wonder. I was gonna say, I wonder if it's move Nashers over to Nami and don't double Shojin her. I would think it is. I would think it surely is, and then just Shojin the LeBlanc. Also, oh my god, that is a LeBlanc 2 that we can definitely complain a little bit about. Okay, hopefully we don't fight them for a while, but that is really gross. Also, the triple Sterax Urgot with the Sterax Augment. Do we have enough damage? We do, easily. Wow. And once again, LeBlanc won most damage there. So yeah, you can just see, wow. I mean, I think Relic touched on something really smart. The way that he's been playing this game is just realizing the power level of new buffed LeBlanc, especially in 8 Sorc. Just better than Nami 2, which is crazy. Surely not better than Zoe 2, but I mean, we're not Zoe 2. Ooh, I like this quick little, ooh, he's looking at, oh yeah, he's unhappy about that. He just wants the Scion to be in front of any like important melee units, right? You want Scion to disrupt as much as possible. Ends up actually being fine here. And wait, we're fighting a LeBlanc player? Do we win? Oh my god. We beat the LeBlanc 2. I mean, they're down a combat augment. They have reinforcement. We also are level 9. I think they were still stuck on level 8. So a crazy dub there from Relic. Wow, okay. The only downside is still that person will definitely outscale us when they do get to push 9 and hit other stuff because they have the LeBlanc 2. But I mean, maybe we can outscale them by hitting LeBlanc 2 ourselves. All right, nice swap here, putting it in front of the Mundo, in front of the Twitch as well. Like, gonna also really waste a lot of the Twitch's sniper value if the Mundo runs in there. And yeah, this comp, my god, these fights are almost basically over by 15 seconds and almost by 10 seconds, man. Yeah, it's pretty wild, actually. There's a Jace if we want one. Adaptive Helm, also a pretty solid item, so I think we could look at that. Also another Shojin, something you can consider as well. I mean, a blue buff as well. I mean, it's Shojin, right? Yeah, you just take Shojin here, throw it onto the Zoe. Or once again, like, I'd really like to get this. I'm so surprised he doesn't care about like diversifying his sources of mana generation. Like, why not scale the Shojin with the attack speed? I don't really understand that. Like, I would, if we weren't going to do the thing that we did before, then I would at least move Gwinsu over to Zoe and then move Shojin over to the LeBlanc, because Shojin Nashers is a fantastic pair. But maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some reasoning. Maybe someone can tell me why he's not doing that if he commented on it or something like that. But yeah, I'm not sure why. But okay. We lose to the Urgot player, 64 HP though. I mean, we're easily coasting to a top 4. The only thing is, can we win out the lobby? We'd love to push 10. We're still no Zoe 2, but honestly, with the LeBlanc, we might have enough damage to just go 10 here. So we'll see what this next. Winning a fight always makes things easier. And look at this nice little swap right over at the last second. This guy actually ended up swapping on him. So yeah, we actually got swapped on at the final second. This is pretty bad because Swain's going to get targeted before the Scion here. Looks like Swain lasted long enough, though. I guess another thing to point out here, actually, I'm really curious. Spark versus Shiv in this comp, what you can do is you can just once again throw 8 Sorc, go to items, don't split by item holder, Spark, Shiv. Says they're exactly the same. Okay, if we drop down to 6 Sorc, I wonder what the filters say. If you drop down to 6 Sorc, it actually says Shiv a good bit better than Spark, but at the end of the day, just build whichever one you can build. Obviously, 6 Sorc doesn't have amazing average because, you know, you're filtering out all the people who high rolled the 8 Sorc, but yeah, you know, something to consider, I guess. But okay, so Spark Shiv about the same. Usually you want Spark when you have just like, when you have a board that would that like needs the shred before damage even like damage occurs before the 3 autos would ever occur. I mean, I guess we're taking another Shojin here. I don't think we need another Morello. I mean, or I mean, you could take it, yeah. The idea is you put it onto Zoe. I kind of like this because we have just the Sunfire here. It's not like a red buff or anything. There's decent chances that that Swain will die, and then you want to apply the Morello. And also, like, what does another Shojin do? Actually, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I like this. Close fight. Oh my god, that Violet just yeah, they have the reviving augment. That's why that you saw the Violet die and then she did not die. And yeah, I mean, Relic just saying, you know what, I'm 48 HP. I need to play for the win out. The only way I'm going to beat Sag here is by going 10. So let's do it. Let's play for level 10 here. The only thing is he's a little bit low gold to go 10 here in this spot. he really wants to be able to hit LeBlanc too, and he can't really do that on 10. Also notice both of these guys pushed, I mean, obviously Sage's spot, he hit the LeBlanc 2, so he didn't need to find the Zoe 2, but Relic himself, the second he found LeBlanc 1, that was enough for him to push level 9 as well. And I mean, even level 10, actually. He's been going level 10 without even the Zoe. It's just important to understand in comps like this that are going to be more contested because they're very, very strong, how to play when you don't hit the Zoe 2. And you know, the Nami 2 plus LeBlanc was enough for him, and I think Relic did a really good job of realizing that, and also winning that last fight puts him into a fantastic spot because now he can sack one more and actually push level 10 next round, 6-5, and feel pretty good about it. Also fighting the Urgot board again. It's just we really want the Swain to live as long as possible, and he's just not. Wow, Sag actually dies there to this guy though, which is huge for us because that's 3 LeBlancs back in the pool. We can take a LeBlanc here. No LeBlanc. Wow, just wants the Crown Guard, I guess. Huh. I mean, maybe he's just that confident that with this many LeBlancs out, with 17 gold, that we're going to hit LeBlanc 2. I'm personally not that confident that we're going to hit LeBlanc 2 in this amount of gold. And I don't think Crown Guard, I mean, Crown Guard's great. I'm surprised he didn't take LeBlanc pair there. But I mean, I guess the thought process is just, you want to get a good item here. Also, kind of cool to get this dude on the board, Conqueror, Dominator. That's why eventually in the stats you saw that Sorc Spat ends up getting moved over there. Relic gonna lose another fight. 14 HP, needs to hit something here. This looks pretty rough, actually. I mean, are we just gonna die to this guy? We're gonna move items over. Yeah, actually get some real items onto Zoe. Double Shojin still onto the Nami though. And just make sure LeBlanc is next to our biggest damage dealers, and make sure our Swain lives as long as possible. We just need him living long. And then we also kind of have some carries on the left, some carries on the right, which is smart here, just so that the Warwick can't kill everything. Honestly, we got through the Warwick Zoe cast here. It was a big diff. Oh my god. That was it. I mean, moving the items over to Zoe actually won us the fight. Beautiful, and really, really nice positioning as well from Relic. A beautiful Sorcerer game. Definitely some high rolls, but it really shows off the power of just this comp and how strong Sorcerer +1 is, how much you should be looking at, and also how to go fast 9, fast 10 in these spots. I think a lot of people would have gotten baited, rolled too much, not gone level 10, and not, had that power spike later. So really, really cool game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitch, my Metafy, all my other links down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.